Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Filled with wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
All right. Hey, what's going on, Las Vegas? Merry Christmas to all of you out there, wherever you're listening to us in the Vegas Valley or around the world on the Odyssey app and KDWN.com.
And a special Merry Christmas to our friends in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, we got a couple downloads.
I know. That's why I'm saying Merry Christmas to them.
But we have been downloaded in over 100 countries, territories.
That's what she said.
That's pretty amazing.
That's exciting.
It is very cool, actually, all 50 states. And we certainly do appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to us around the world. It is awe-inspiring, and it's quite the Christmas present.
Yeah.
Now, subscribe to us on YouTube. That would be the great Christmas present.
And
I know we've got to do more up there. But, yeah, it's still free, but better brace yourself because that time may change at some point. So
let's not talk about that. This is time of good tidings, my friend. Good tidings.
Get your content now while it's free, to say the least. I'm Mark Hoke, Andrew Fish Fain, and Brian Ronovich from LasVegasWrestlingScene.com. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to reach Joe.
That's okay.
Christmas
that's
tree.
That's his Christmas gift to us, is not being here.
Wow. But do want to mention, of course, he's got a big card coming up with FSW Vegas on New Year's Eve, and this is the Countdown to Midnight Kick 2022 to the Turnbuckle, where they wrestle up till midnight.
Is Vandergriff on the card?
You know, he is.
Yes.
Tag team match. He's teams with Damian Drake.
His old tag team partner.
Gregory Sharp and Jordan Oasis.
Because he knows that he can't expend all that energy because he knows I'm coming for him.
You go down there. And you're going to get your bell rung at the stroke of midnight, buddy.
Last year's Countdown to Midnight, Vandergriff and Drake had a 60-man Ironman match.
Really?
It ended at midnight. It was a great match.
I see it. When those are done, the problem with a 60-minute Ironman match is when they're done well, it's the best thing ever. When they're not done well, it's like, oh, this is just the worst.
It was superb, and you didn't have anything where, like I saw Jay Lethal and Matt Taven do a 60-man at a Ring of Honor show here in Samstown, but they had like a 10-minute spot where Gresham came out and a whole bunch of other stuff was happening completely outside of the match.
Right.
That didn't happen with Drake and Vandergriff. There's obviously slow spots, of course, but there were no weird cut-ins or anything like that. They just went 60. It was a great match.
And that's what I'm saying. Those are great matches. When you have all that weird stuff, you're like, oh, come on.
And it ended in 60, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't do the
overtime.
I don't think so. I could. Joe will hear you could correct
that was Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart that did the overtime, right?
Yeah. And then it ended in like 1 minute.
Yeah.
They had this great match, and then in 1 second he gets a super kick and it's over.
Yeah, and of course the Ric Flair Barry Windham ones were the great 60s.
Yeah, oh yeah. Rick, and that was to be honest with you, that was one of the greatest things about Ric Flair. He wasn't, and people are going to hate me for saying this, he wasn't the greatest wrestler per se, but nobody could go like Ric Flair.
And what he did was amazing. I mean, the chops and the whole, he knew the 4 or 5 things that he was great at. He was really, really, really great. And Flair and Sting, too. Clash of Champions, even though it wasn't actually 60 minutes, that made Sting a star.
And apparently in 2023, we're going to have at least 2 more appearances by Flair in WWE.
Great. That's exciting.
At the 30th anniversary of Raw and at the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I'm just hoping he's not one of the 30 entrants of the Royal Rumble.
God, let's hope not. Let's hope not. Please, Rick, don't do it. Don't do it.
When he won that title, though, at the Rumble, that was a pretty fantastic Rumble.
Yes, it
but
was.
You throw Bobby Heenan's commentary in that, to me, that's what put that match over. Heenan,
Well, and what finished the job was the promo afterward.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That promo is legendary.
Yeah. And it's funny because wasn't that like the first time we saw Rick with the short hair? Hadn't he just gotten his hair cut at that point?
No, I think he had it.
Did he?
He had it that way under Jim Herd.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think Jim Herd made him cut his hair.
Well, Jim Herd wanted him to shave his head and get
Didn't
him
he want him to be
earring.
the Spartan or something?
Spartacus. He wanted him to be Spartacus.
Spartacus, yeah.
That's why he quit NWA /WCW.
Yeah. Good call, Mr. Hurd.
Man, how could that even be a thought process? Like, I don't even know how that would even. Obviously didn't. Did he tell anybody else this idea?
Yes, he did. And that's the thing. Sometimes you get a new boss in there who says, "Oh, you know what? I need to change things." And instead of changing the things that need changed, they try to change the things that will get the most attention for them. And that was one of them. That was so stupid.
Since we're on this track, I got to ask, are they going to allow John Cena to get a 16th title reign?
I'm going to say no.
We're going to keep Flair's record as hallowed, and
that I don't know about, but because I think Randy Orton, if he gets back, they might be tempted.
He's at 15 also?
Was he 14?
I think he's 13 or 14.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark.
Because Cena's at 15, obviously.
Yeah. Well, look that up. Somebody look that up. How many John has?
No, I know he has 15.
Okay,
because they've talked about tying Cena or tying Flair and/or breaking the record.
So, well, we'll see. I don't think so, but I think there's too much going on to throw John Cena into the mix. But who knows? By the way, we were mentioning
you don't like when Cena's involved.
I like when Cena's involved. I just don't think. I don't know. I think there's too many good people out there right now to use as world champ. So
that I agree with.
Oh, you're talking about just champion. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, John Cena could be around all he wants.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell John Cena.
It's not in general. Well, I think, too, they brought Cena back in the past because things weren't going well.
Right.
You know, you needed that infusion.
It's nice to see that the WWE is bringing Cena back, not because they need him, but because he's just going to add to it as opposed to being the reason.
It's not like a legacy booking kind of thing,
yeah. So just real quick to finish the thought we had from the last hour, and then we're going to start getting into the year in review. Your card for AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash, we've got the Blackpool Combat Club taking on AR Fox and Top Flight, who won the match that I think may have had the official longest title of all times. Did you guys see the title of this match?
No.
It is the AEW Rampage Holiday Bash $300,000 Three Kings Christmas Casino Trios Royale. Breathe.
So it was a triple threat?
No, this was a trios battle royal that they had, which Top Flight, Dante Martin and the guys ended up eliminating the Blackpool Combat Club at the end to win that match and got a briefcase with $300,000. So there you go.
Okay.
That's a long title. I'm just saying it was a long title.
Yeah, I didn't even hear the battle royal part.
Yeah, fun match, but apparently those guys are going to get into
more of my issues with AEW.
But so that match will be going on. We've got let's see, Ruby Soho, Will Nightingale against Ty Mello, Anna Jay. It's Ethan Page, Bryan Danielson, and the sixth match for between the Elite and Death Triangle. And boy, that was a good one.
And it's now 3-2.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one this week.
What's the stipulation for the sixth match?
False count anywhere.
Okay. Which is basically a no DQ match.
Yeah, it got nasty. This last one was a good one. They had some barbed wire and barbed wire broom and some Christmas trees, and
the way that the idea may be great, the way this was executed was ridiculous.
Yeah, but the matches have been good.
Yeah,
the matches have been good. So got to give them to that. So let's talk a little bit about looking back on 2022, and let's take a look at who we thought maybe some of the wrestlers of the year, match of the year, and so on. Let's start with the ladies, because there may be a little debate on this. I don't think there is, but who the female wrestler of the year is, and going off a couple websites,
I think it's Bianca Belair.
Some names to throw out: Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Toni Storm, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey. One site that I'm looking at is saying Jade Cargill, and I think
Cargill is the only person that could lay claim to it other than Bianca Belair. I don't think Becky Lynch or any of the other ones could even come close.
Yeah, and AEW had too much with too many splits. You had you had Thunder Rosa and she was out, and Toni Storm certainly had a nice run there, but I
think Bianca and Becky's match at WrestleMania was fantastic. I think it's definitely Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I think it is too. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Belair for sure.
Yeah,
She's fantastic.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
And to be honest with you, I can't believe how good she is and how much better she keeps getting.
Well, she's an incredible athlete.
Yeah, and she's just going to get better and better. I mean, and trying not to be funny about it, can you imagine how athletic and amazing those kids are going to be between her and Montez Ford?
Oh, they're D1.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
They're definitely
They're
D1.
5-star recruits and they're not even born yet.
Yes.
Yeah, Belair is one of those talents that as it's gotten more challenging, the competition's gotten better, as the stage has gotten better, she just keeps getting better.
Yes.
Because when I first started NXT, I was like, okay, the hair and, she's got, you can see she's got some ability, but okay. But every step up she's taken, she's improved. And you usually see people plateau at some point, but there's been none of that.
Is she going to be one of those, for lack of a better term, lifelong faces, do you think? Or do you see a heel turn in her future?
I saw that they were actually talking about her and Montez going heel. That would be fun.
That would be interesting.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I love her as a face, but I think she'd be very interesting as a heel.
She'd hurt people.
Yeah, I mean, but Alexa Bliss smashing her in the head with the vase was kind of cool.
Yeah, that worked.
I think when you're that over, you turn heel, if you don't go all the way heel, there can't be any more happy pictures on Twitter.
Nope, exactly.
It has to be all the way. If she does that, then I think it would work, because then people would really hate her. But if she does kind of a soft turn or anything like that, it would phase out.
Well, and that's
an excellent point.
That's one of the tough things of being in WWE and being a face, is because you look at John Cena. How many times should John Cena have gone heel? It should have happened a couple of times, as he went on. But he became such a face of the WWE and the Make-A-Wish and so on. Even when it made sense, they couldn't turn him.
Right, you're absolutely right, because it has to be, as Brian just said, it has to be a hard turn.
Yeah.
Nowadays, especially, it was easier in the 80s and 90s when you didn't have social media and it was easier to be a heel, easier to turn heel. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, you can't. You're right. You can't be happy anywhere. No. There can't be you can't have a happy picture of you and your wife or whatever.
Right. Yeah, you look at a guy like MJF right now, who has just embraced the heel lifestyle. I mean, he had a tweet up today ripping everybody on Christmas.
Yeah, they wanted him to turn face, and he said no way.
Yeah, they couldn't pull it. I mean, they could have pulled it off, but it didn't make any sense.
Nope.
I mean, there was another tweet that I saw that a mother had put up a video of her kid screaming at him when he was on the TV. And he came back and said, "Your kid's got cheap pajamas and just not raising her right, and this whole thing." I mean, the dude is playing the part. He has followed the Ric Flair, Nick Bockwinkel, and Undertaker mold of this is the lifestyle. This is why people really get into professional wrestling, when they believe in our character. That's why I think MJF is going to be. It really is a generational talent. He gets it.
No, there is no question.
You mentioned too about Ric Flair's wrestling style. MJF has modeled his style after Rick and Nick Bockwinkel and people like that, where you don't have to destroy yourself in the ring to get over. And he understands ring psychology and understands taking care of his body. He's going to be around for a long time.
Oh, and he's what, 24?
26.
26. He's got a good 15 to 20 years still.
Yeah.
At least.
No doubt about that. Let's talk a little bit about the tag teams for the year. And honestly, there's a few you can pick, but I think it comes down to two.
It comes down to FTR and the Usos.
FTR and the Usos. And this is a similar situation to what happened last year when we were talking about Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega. Does the reign of Roman Reigns overrule Kenny Omega winning championships all over the world? We're in the same spot.
I think FTR is the better tag team, but I think the Usos are the better the better show, if that makes sense. I think that on a purely wrestling standpoint, FTR is actually leaps and bounds above the Usos. Yeah. But I think as far as the entertainment part, I think it's the Usos. I think the Usos pretty much personify WWE, and FTR personifies AEW, and they do their companies well. So I'm going to give it to both of them for that reason.
Oh, no, you can't do that. No.
Then I'm going to give it to FTR.
Okay.
Because I think the job they've done in the ring against all comers, it doesn't matter. And they've won and they've lost, and I think that's part of it as well. The fact that the Usos don't lose, except for this past week.
the FTR just did a job to the Guns.
Yeah, exactly.
This week.
And they don't lose. And a lot of people, you do a job to somebody and you lose something. FTR doesn't lose anything by doing a job to the Guns.
No, they just lost to the Briscoes, too. Brian, what do you think? Who's the tag team of the year?
I think, Fish, you make two great points. I think FTR definitely the better team. They're the best team in the world, in my opinion. I think that the Usos, though, have been involved in not just the biggest storyline in wrestling this year, but arguably the best storyline in years that and they are heavily involved. They're not just the side tag team that's winning. I mean, you've had them both involved individually. Jay is involved big with Sami. You see that come. So I think you have to factor that. It's hard not to pick them both. Like, I don't think that's a cop-out to say co-champions, as much as I don't like that. But if you're going by just in the ring, then yeah, FTR. I mean, FTR's first match with the Briscoes was one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen. You talk about living up to the hype. That match was unbelievable. And you don't see that enough, for me at least, in tag team. It just becomes constant double teams and spots. And that, to me, that match just did it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third one with the dog collar match was pretty darn good, too.
We'll get to all that because I told you I have my 5 candidates for match of the year.
Yeah, we're getting.
That's one of them. I will tell you that now.
But, I hate to say it for FTR, but I would actually lean towards the Usos. Because people forget about the matches, for example, they have with the Street Profits, the matches they have with the Brawling Brutes. I think people are just so used to seeing them in the ring and seeing them as champions that you almost are kind of numb to it. They're like, these guys are incredible.
Do you think it's like picking Roman Reigns for Wrestler of the Year? Because obviously you could. When you look at everything, you could easily say it's like Michael Jordan could be MVP every year.
Right? No, I got it. Yeah. But
yeah.
and like I said, I can't argue with you taking the Usos because I would have taken the Usos. I wanted to take them both. I just took FTR because the Usos had been it and because they'd been so dominant because of the FTR's work in the ring.
Yeah, and FTR winning championships everywhere. I mean, I can't imagine that workload that they've gone through.
I'll just say this, it's not the Good Brothers.
Okay. That's fair to say that. Going Good Brothers on us. All right. Way to go, Fish. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about match of the year, wrestler of the year, and
radio host of the year.
Well,
Fish.
You're an idiot. We'll be. Wow, I've been trashing you guys on Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around. When it comes to having the right attorney in your corner, you want to have a proven winner on your side, and Russell Dutch Boyd of VegasCounsel.com knows how to win in Las Vegas. Boyd graduated at 18 years old from law school and is also a 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. And no matter what legal challenges you're facing, Boyd will help you through it all. As a litigation attorney, he covers multiple areas of law, including personal injury, business law and startup, cyber law, and crypto clients, and whatever else you might need to navigate the legal waters of Las Vegas and beyond. Just visit VegasCounsel.com to set up your free initial consultation today. That's VegasCounsel.com and let Dutch Boyd help you win today. Once again, that's Russell Boyd at VegasCounsel.com.
.1015 FM KDWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on
Yay,
the Mark
we're
Hoke
back.
Show. Wow. Fish, stay grumpy.
Nope.
No, it's all good. I much prefer the happy Fish.
Hey, I went to the bathroom during the break. I'm much happier.
Yeah, we're good now. We're better.
You should see these two, by the way, everybody. It was hilarious because they're in the main booth and I'm in the production booth because we had a little technical error, and we hit the break, and those two ran out of here like kids.
That's out of hell.
Kind of getting out of class.
Yeah,
like the way MJF ran from Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, something like that. These two just went flying.
You should have seen us go straight chariots of fire down the hall.
You should see the trail we oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Andrew Fish Fain, Brian Ronovich from LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
By the way, Hoke. One of the best online places to catch everything that's going on in wrestling.
Yeah, amazing coverage.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. You got to check that out.
Big fan.
Yep.
Thank you.
And let's hit story of the year but let's make sure we got to leave time for a wrestler of the year and match of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously there were a couple of huge stories this year. I have a list from a site that I pulled. Give me 1 second because I had it up and then you guys started.
I just think I will say this, that we were talking about this during the break, and I'm not going to mention it because I'm going to let you bring up the nominees, but I didn't think of the one that Brian came up with, and I should have. And to me, there's no question that has to be it.
I can't believe you didn't think of it either. But it's a site called RIYLmag.com that put their top 10 stories up. I thought this was a pretty good one. They had the death of Scott Hall.
That's a big story, but it wasn't all encompassing for wrestling.
A series of matches where a lot of painful things happened. Like Adam Page giving Adam Cole a crown of barbed wire during an Easter match. The Darby Allin Jeff Hardy match. Eddie Kingston pouring gas in that Anarchy in the arena. Just some crazy stuff.
No, I know, but that doesn't really do it for me.
Those matches have all been, to me, ruined. Just these kind of matches because they happen so often now that none of these crazy spots really affect me like that.
Calloused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, once you see Mick Foley get thrown off the top of a
that did it. That was it. That happened. I was like, I'm good. I don't have to see anything else.
The revolving doors are talking about Cody Rhodes, of course, leaving AEW, which was that's a little underrated story there. But we also had Saraya going to AEW. And Sasha Banks leaving WWE.
The walkout itself was a big story.
Yeah. Right. So, talking about that. Jon Moxley basically saving AEW.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens getting their dream matches.
Yeah.
With Sami taking on Johnny Knoxville.
That was his dream match.
Well, that's a big deal, though. I mean, that got him out in the mainstream.
It did, but I don't know if that getting slammed by Wee Man was worth the price of admission.
That was pretty funny, though. You got to.
And Kevin Owens against Stone Cold.
And Kevin is Stone Cold. Scissoring is a thing now with the Acclaimed.
Oh, I'm thinking something entirely different.
They are monstrously over. And there's a match of the year candidate that I think people have forgotten about with those guys. The rise of MJF in his year was pretty wild.
You got to understand, Mark really loves the Acclaimed.
They're fun. Like they're a fun team. And
they're
then
all right.
The retirement of Vince McMahon and the self-destruction of CM Punk, which probably, to me, are the top two stories.
Those are definitely the top two. And I'll let you explain it, Brian, which one you think is the top one and why.
I think Vince leaving. I mean, his retirement brought WWE back. It brought Triple H into position. It really changed everything because now there's, talent is more willing to come back should contracts expire. Even if, I know they were fired in some cases they left, but they're going to be more willing to come back and work with Triple H. To me, that just said everything. I mean, this is a guy who'd been in charge since, he bought the company in the late 70s and took it into, or early 80s and turned it into this massive thing. To me, this is like the biggest names in sports retiring, and not just the fact that he retired. Everything changed after he retired. So it was a huge story. He affected how the rest of the wrestling year went, at least with big wrestling, by his retirement.
Yeah.
That to me is, and because CM Punk, it's a big story, but like we talked about, Fish, were you surprised that
no,
he did
because
it?
that's who CM Punk is. And the funny thing is that without Vince McMahon, there is no CM Punk.
Yeah.
So that's why that story has to trump all, because without Vince, there is no AEW.
Without Vince, there's no wrestling.
Exactly.
And not just not just the retirement of Vince, but everything that led up to it. Because remember, Triple H and Steph were out because for years wrestling fans were waiting for those two to just be in charge, and then all of a sudden they weren't involved at all. They went from not involved, it didn't look like they were going to be around, and then Vince retires, Triple H is back, Vince retires, Steph takes over, boom. It was all like this crazy 2 months of, yeah.
And where I think it's going to be interesting to see where that story ends up, despite Vince saying he thinks he's going to come back, and he's not. That's ridiculous.
We told you last week he's going to end up in AEW.
Oh my God.
But when does that cycle turn back against Triple H a little bit? And as Triple H keeps bringing people in, and people aren't happy because it's going to happen. I think it is starting.
Isn't it starting to? The honeymoon period is over.
Yeah.
And people are beginning to say those exact things. The only reason why I had CM Punk as the story of the year is because, again, and obviously Vince McMahon retiring changes history, but that changed the whole trajectory of AEW because of what they were going to do versus what they had to change up to do.
What was really fascinating is the two stories somewhat intertwined was everybody was like, I don't want to be in WWE. I can't stand working for Vince. It went from that to I can't stand being in the AEW locker room. CM Punk is driving us all crazy.
And now they're both gone.
And now they're both gone. And all of a sudden, at the end of this year, you're really seeing some great wrestling going on, great morale in both companies. And you know who wins with that.
And that
it's
we
us.
all do. Yeah, that's great for the wrestling. And not to rush you, but I'd like to do Wrestler of the Year and Match of the Year now. So the next segment we can do what to look forward to in 2023.
Okay, well, we still have
if
time.
you don't mind. I know.
I got you. I'm keeping the flow.
I know.
So
the thing about CM Punk too is like when he went to AEW, it so easily could have because when he got there, didn't you guys feel like AEW might have been in position to really make a move when he got there?
It was almost the NWO in WCW effect,
and
I thought AEW was taking over at this point.
That's what it felt like because they had Danielson and oh man, here we go, and then it fizzled out.
Well, and I think part of that for AEW too. One of the big stories of the year for them was the injuries. The massive amount of injuries that got suffered in AEW to all of their top guys. Between that and the CM Punk, it threw everything off, and they're just starting to recover.
Poor Adam Cole still can't wrestle.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing that...
Although I don't think they were doing enough with Adam Cole, so...
Oh, no.
But I think they will when he gets back.
I don't know if he's one of those guys that maybe wants to go back to WWE because of Triple H.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess. But he's still got a couple years on that contract. Match of the year, and... interesting debates on this one, I think. I have
my 5 candidates.
Here's a list, and we'll see how many of these fish hits. The Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins,
Hell in a Cell
match.
That's one of mine.
Gunther and Sheamus, the first one.
I did not have that on there, but it was my honorable mention.
Wow. This one listed the men's War Games, which I thought was
No, I don't agree with that.
Wow, this had FTR and Briscoes too, and I thought 1 and 3 were better.
I had the one in Final Battle.
Okada and Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom this year, which was a great match. Those are the ones that are listed up here. One that I would throw out that I think people forgot was the Acclaimed against Swerve in Our Glory.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that.
Well, I'm not saying it is match of the year, but that was one of those where when everybody's screaming to give me an audible because of the crowd is so into it, that's a pretty darn good match.
Yeah.
What else you guys have?
2 other ones that I had or 3 other ones actually. Moxley, Jericho, Quake by the Lake.
Okay.
CM Punk and MJF at Revolution.
Yeah, the dog collar match. That's one.
And then the final one, and I cannot believe there's no way before this match happened I ever would have said this was going to be close. Roman Reigns, Logan Paul at Crown Jewel.
That's interesting.
I was so impressed by what Logan Paul did in that match that one to me has absolutely matches. It shouldn't be match of the year, but it has to be nominated.
Brian, did you have any others that came to mind?
Sheamus and Gunther. I love matches when they just stand there and beat the crap out of each
that's
other.
Why
I loved Walter for years in the Indies when he was in Europe before he ever even came to WWE NXT. I love seeing him.
Mark
do
was
it.
a big Walter fan.
Yeah, I love seeing him on the big stage get his chance.
And
he's great.
The Walter Dragonovich match is just incredible. I have a hard time picking on this, but
it's fun. Real quick, before you say something, I just want to throw this out there because you were talking about Sheamus and Gunther. That's how great Solo Sikoa and Gunther has a chance to be. That has a chance to be match of the year, and that's going to be after we vote.
Yeah,
very true. I would lean though towards the Seth Rollins Cody Hell in a Cell match, just because of the circumstances with the Cody out there with the torn pec, and the crowd reaction to that, and just Cody getting through that match and really has cemented himself with that match. A year ago, people were booing him out of the building, and now he's a hero. I
would say it's between two. It's between that one for that, or if you're just talking pure match, it's FTR versus the Briscoes at Final Battle.
Yeah.
Because
which one do you pick?
I'm going to go with Rollins and Rhodes also, just because of the circumstances of what Cody Rhodes had to go through to be able to show up, let alone wrestle.
Right.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think?
I loved the tag match. I was excited that a tag match was one that FTR Briscoes that we're talking about now. And it wasn't, and it was a big stage, but not like you would with a WWE pay-per-view, and it was a match that everyone talked about. I remember getting messages, oh my gosh, did you see this match? Like, yeah.
And it's a shame the Briscoes will never be on AEW because of that stupid tweet.
Yeah, I think that time's going to come, though.
I hope so, because they're the best tag team that nobody knows about.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love the Briscoes.
I've been loving watching them for years. So, them winning the Ring of Honor titles here at the end of the year, I think maybe signaling.
I hope so. I really do.
I mean, I hope so, too.
Because, and like I said, you know how I feel about AEW, and for me to have that match up there as one of the two best matches of the year tells you how great it had to have been.
Wrestler of the Year. Here's a list of a few. Moxley, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, MJF, CM Punk.
There's
anybody else that you might
and
Chris Jericho warrant being on that list?
No, you could say Moxley for so many reasons, because he basically saved AEW. Without Moxley, AEW is done when the incident happens. You could say MJF for the amazing run he had, but I got to discount him for taking his ball and going home. And then Roman
to a point he kind of had to. He didn't have to, but he kind of did.
Yeah, and then Roman Reigns, how do you go against what he did? But then again, he just won it last year for doing the same thing.
And is CM Punk still the Wrestler of the Year, even though he did what he did? I mean, in terms of having the impact of what he did for the years, consideration.
I'm going to go with Moxley, because without Moxley, ex-AEW is done.
Wow. Brian, who's your Wrestler of the Year?
Moxley has been tremendous. I kind of... you made a joke earlier, Fish, about Sami. And it's hard to argue. Maybe he hasn't had the best matches all year necessarily, like you could look at the big main events, but he has been
the last few months
the most, and you finished strong in the MVP voting. We all know that. You have a good August and September, you win the MVP in baseball. You can, and Sami has been the talk of wrestling the last 6 months. So to me, I feel like he's been maybe not the best wrestler, but he's been the most interesting wrestler of the year.
I could absolutely see Sami being Wrestler of the Year.
I'm still gonna cop out and go with Roman. I don't think that anybody.
It's a fair argument. Roman's the best. I think.
I just don't know if anybody.
When he was getting
stood out more than him this year, even though all those arguments are great, and I think Sami should be in the top 3. I really do. If I was picking, I would go Roman, MJF, and then Sami.
So not even Moxley there, huh?
No, he'd probably be 4th on my list.
But when Roman Reigns was getting booed after winning the Royal Rumble,
oh my!
Could you picture where he is now?
No, I mean he has embraced this role, and I mean the bloodline doesn't go anywhere without Roman, and just the way he's carried himself and what he's done and when he's been asked to perform, he has been phenomenal. I
wish he'd perform a little more, but that's just me wanting to see him more. It's probably smart of them not to.
Oh yeah.
So you don't waste it. So yeah, but I'd like to see him more.
That's what I thought made Brock interesting, several years ago when he was, defend the title a few times a year. I think the thing that's making Roman better is that we still see Roman a lot, even if he's not in the ring
with Brock,
all
you
the
didn't
time.
even see Brock.
Yeah, and Roman talks. So there's definitely more of a, comparing to the Brock years with Heyman, Roman talks more. And so you feel that personal involvement with Roman. And that, to me, is what adds to it. I think Roman deserves a lot of credit for this story continuing to be interesting. Like I don't really hear a lot of clamor to pull the belt off Roman and that he doesn't deserve to be.
And I don't.
He feels to me like a Muhammad Ali. He feels to me like a Mike Tyson.
Yes,
and that's saying something. I mean, there's like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair were in that stratosphere to me. But I don't know if anybody else has done that and made me feel like that since Roman.
No, and
with Roman, so
and just the job he's done. You're absolutely right. He is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. All right, we have to take another break, and when we come back, the three of us we're going to discuss. If I hit the right button, that'll help. There we go. 2023, and some of the things we'd like to see, some of the things we think are going to happen. It's going to be a hell of a year for professional wrestling, to say the least. So stick around for more on the Mark Hoke Show. We do appreciate you joining us. Merry Christmas, and we will be right back. Hi, this is Mark Hoke. Has out-of-control inflation, gas prices, and grocery costs wrecked your wallet? Then check into automated day trading with Trading Made Easy. Trading Made Easy has spent 5 years helping people put cash in their pockets with their simple-to-use day trading software. So if you're ready to leave that 9-to-5 job behind, visit TradingMadEasy.com or call 800-971-4160 to sign up for a free live training seminar right now. That's TradingMadEasy.com. Tired of the same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch? I'm Mark Hoke, and I have an idea for a different place to go with unique food you're sure to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your busy day and stop on in to Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and his friendly staff. Whether it's a great start to your day with one of Unique Eats' amazing omelets, or lunch with his incredible sandwiches, pasta, and award-winning pizzas, you'll be in for a fantastic dining experience that won't break the bank. Unique Eats also features a smoothie bar and full vegetarian menu as well. Plus, if you need catering, you can count on Unique Eats no matter what the occasion. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, open daily until 3 p.m. Call them at 702-992-3038 or visit UniqueEatsLV.com for their full menu and catering info. Break out of the same old routine and have a great meal at Unique Eats today.
101.5 FM KDWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
That is I.
That is you.
Go for it. Ryan's getting into doing the show. I think you're having a fun time.
I am. I enjoy doing this. This is fun.
Good.
Definitely fun.
Good. Merry Christmas to everybody. Brian Ronovich joining us here from Las Vegas wrestling scene.
You were going to say future stars of wrestling.
No, I just had to catch myself.
Oh, okay.
LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
He can't hear you.
Okay, well.
He's having a headphone problem.
Tell him grab another set of headphones.
Grab another set of headphones. They're all plugged in.
Yeah, they're all plugged in. There we go. And, of course, Andrew Fish Fain.
They're short.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Don't hurt yourself, buddy.
All right, we're good.
All right. There we go. Boy, I'm just glad it didn't do what Rick Ross did on Dynamite this week and drop that MF bomb, by the way.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear that? Yeah,
no.
he called
Well, then again,
Keith
I don't
Lee
really watch Dynamite. I kind of just read the results.
He called Keith Lee a big MFer.
Ah.
That went out.
Was that Bearcat Lee?
No, not the Bearcat. There's another Vince McMahon special on that one.
Big Bang Catastrophe, which is one of my favorite names for a finisher.
It's not bad. Well, by the way, if you need a good finisher, go over to Unique Eats, 3100 South Durango. Celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco is going to take great care of you over there. Unbelievable breakfast, omelets and Benedicts, pancake stacks the size of your skull. They're huge. You have unbelievable lunches, pizzas. He cooks in international pizza competitions. It is a great place to go eat, and the service, unbelievable. And we had a great time over there last Sunday, and I want to give a shout-out to one of our fans who won a gift certificate, Ray Bustamante, and his Roseborn Elementary 4th grade class.
Yeah, but they're big John Cena fans, apparently.
Yes, apparently he gets a lot of "you can't see me's" from the little ones.
Nice.
So congrats to Ray, and thanks for coming out. We do appreciate it. But get on over there to Unique Eats, 3100 South Durango. Open daily until 3 p.m. So unbelievable food. You'll love it. And,
without a doubt.
And catering, too, by the way.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yep. All right. So heading into...
Let's look into our crystal ball.
Yeah, let's look into our crystal ball. This one's a fun one before we talk WWE, but I want to mention this real fast because on betonline.ag, where if you go to markhokeshow.com, click on one of the banners, get an account, you get the 50% matching bonus up to $1,000. They have up there right now, will MJF be the world champion at the end of 2023?
Now, does that mean he has to hold it the entire year, or he can lose it and then win it again?
MJF to be world champion at end of 2023.
So I guess he could lose it and win it again.
He could win it, you lose and win it again. He is a minus 300 yes, a minus or a plus 200 no. If it's not MJF, here's who they've got. Mox at plus 250, Bryan Danielson plus 300, Kenny Omega plus 300, Adam Page plus 6, Wardlow plus 9. Here's an interesting one. Adam Cole plus 2,000. Huh? Just a thought. Throw that one out there. But Keith Lee, like everybody's on this list. Sammy Guevara is a plus 6,600. He is the low one on the totem pole. To be the AEW Women's Champion at the end of the year, they still have Jamie Hayter there at minus 115. Then it's Saraya plus 250, Jade Cargill plus 500, Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm plus 500. Interesting one here, Chris Statlander, who was on a roll there until she got hers, a plus 1,000. So I think there's some money to be made there.
Doesn't it feel like Jade would have better odds?
Yeah, she is. She's being more than the plus.
I would,
plus 5.
I would pick Jade Cargill to be the AEW Women's Champion by the end of the year.
I think it's going to be Thunder Rosa. They're going to give it back to her.
I think she's got too much heat in the back. I think the way
a lot of complaints about her.
Yeah, I think Statlander has a really good shot.
Doesn't Saraya have a good chance too because of the name?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be interesting. That'd
be a real page turner.
Yeah. Boo fish. But we have a few minutes left. Guys, what do you see coming here in 2023? Let me start with Brian. Just some thoughts.
I think what we're going to find is some things, especially in the, just real quick with the indies, I think things are going to thin out a little bit. It was super crazy. I feel like there's a little bit of a bubble. I think things are going to balance out a little bit more in the indie scene. But as far as WWE, AEW, I'm really interested to see who beats Roman. To me, I feel like that's the big question. Who is going to get the belt? And I think that might be one of the reasons why you don't hear a lot of talk about taking the belt off Roman. It's because who is taking his spot? That's the big. I think
WWE is going to do the rumored Roman that makes history, wrestles both nights of WrestleMania, Saturday and Sunday. I think he wrestles Saturday against Cody Rhodes, thank you, and Sunday against The Rock.
You don't think they'd build it around the one match?
No, I think because I think Cody wins the Royal Rumble because I don't think The Rock is in the Royal Rumble. I think Cody wins the Royal Rumble, but I think The Rock appears at the Royal Rumble.
That's if Cody's back. He's still got to make sure he's ready to go.
He's going to be back. I think he's ready to go.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a Cody Roman feud would be something else.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the two family histories there. Mm-hmm. You could drag that all year long, and nobody's getting tired of that.
No, I agree, but I think Roman beats Cody on Saturday to keep one of the belts, but I think The Rock wins the belt on the second night.
Yep. And of course, Usos looks like they're probably going to get taken out by Sami and Kevin.
That's the rumor,
and that would be a great series of matches too. I would really enjoy that. And then you get to AEW. Is the MJF reign of terror going to roll on through the whole year?
I think that the closer it gets to the end of the year, if Tony Khan doesn't think he's going to re-sign him, I think he loses the belt.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. And that at the end of the year, that might be the biggest story at the end of the year.
Yeah, because January 1st is when he's a free agent of 2024.
Yeah, that man's going to make a lot of money.
Yes, he is.
A lot of money. Unbelievable.
And the problem I have too with that too is real quick is, because once he drops the belt, that's when all of the talk is going to be, oh, he's out. He's leaving. It'll just be, so that has to be timed so perfectly. Good luck.
Good luck. Well, I want to thank, we had good luck because we had a terrific show today. Brian, thanks for coming in.
Oh, you're
Fish.
welcome. It was fun.
Appreciate you being here as well.
Of course.
And of course, don't forget, if you want to follow us on our social media at Mark Hoke Show on Twitter, we're now blue check verified. Woohoo! And on Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. And, of course, don't forget those podcasts, markhokeshow.podbean.com.
Blue check verified?
Yeah, and, of course, we're all on our favorite podcast outlets wherever you want to check us out. We would appreciate it. And give us a subscription on YouTube, too. Our goal in 2023 is get more stuff up there.
Vandergriff, I'm coming for you in 2023.
Let it go. But on behalf of our team, thank you so much for being with us here on the Mark Hoke Show. We do appreciate it. We'll see what happens on New Year's Day, but otherwise, have a very happy Christmas, and we will see you next time on the Mark Hoke Show. Have a great holiday, Las Vegas.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.